Metro Boomin's latest album called Heroes and Villains. It's his second studio album. Came out last December, at the end of 2022. Never got a chance to kind of get around to it, and as things are pretty slow, figured we might as well go back and give it a listen. So that's exactly what we are going to do. So Metro Boomin, if you don't know, he is a well-known, well-renowned producer who has produced countless hits for artists spanning the gamut, from Drake to 21 Savage to Migos to anybody and everybody. I think he's even had hand with Miley Cyrus and some of her hits and other pop stars. But yeah, he's kind of worked with closely with like Michael Made It, Ear Drummers. I think he's part of that whole kind of conglomerate of producers in Atlanta that have had a huge hand in shaping the sound of Atlanta rap and hip hop in general for the past probably 5 to 7 years, I'd say. He is doing, the producer thing these days. When you are a hot producer, you put out an album. Because, if anything, producers, especially in this day and age, are just as big, if not bigger, and if not more important than the actual artists that are putting out songs on their production. You hear the drops all the time, and it becomes kind of synonymous. When you hear a drop from one of these artists nowadays, you fully expect it to be a banger. And Metro Boomin is definitely one of the biggest names of these young producers out there today. Now, will he last for generations like some of hip hop's greatest? That remains to be seen, but his track record is very strong, and he has released his second producer album where, they grab a bunch of their friends and people they just work with, and probably does a kind of song exchange. You'll hop on mine, I'll give you a free beat down the line or something like that. But yeah, kind of working with some of his tried and true favorites like 21 Savage, Travis Scott, Future. So yeah, Heroes and Villains. Interested to see what he's did. I have not heard anything from it still, and I haven't really been out and about that much, so haven't really heard it out like that. But I'm interested to see kind of what he was able to do here. Producer albums have always been kind of a hit or miss affair anyways. It's not necessarily their strongest beats, because they typically give it to the biggest artists out there because they know that they will turn that into a massive hit. But you do get some interesting takes, and they do get to explore things and production in a different way than you might expect a lot of times, things that they necessarily can't do when they're working with kind of just a general mainstream artist that they work with. So I'm interested to check it out. Let's get right into it. Track number 1, On Time, featuring John Legend. John Legend's voice is just as good as it's always been, man. You don't hear it as much. He doesn't put out music as much as he used to, but man, his voice is still incredible. Morgan Freeman, again, he was featured prominently on his collaboration album that he did with 21 Savage called Savage Mode 2, which, that's dope to see that Morgan Freeman's still out there doing these voiceovers. So this is just more of an intro. Let's hop into track number 2 called Superhero, featuring Future and Chris Brown. Oh man, Metro and Future, Mike Will and Future, just match made in heaven, just perfect pairing. They both all seem to just get each other extremely well. They always give him such fire beats, and he kills it. He always manages to kill it, and so far this piece of slapper. Yeah, man, Future be floating on that production. Whenever Metro and Future link up, like I said, man, it's just perfect, and Future be floating on them tracks. Okay, little switch up right here. I guess Chris Brown's about to hop on right now. Like somehow, some way, Chris Brown has become like a kind of underrated, slept on artist. Like, yeah, he's not as big as he used to be, and maybe he doesn't produce as many like massive hits as he used to. But every time I hear him on a song, I'm like, damn, I forgot how fire Chris Brown was. For real. Okay, I'll say that's kind of like more the true intro, and fire. Production's fire. As always, feature floater on this track. Chris Brown at the end, just nice little piece de resistance at the end. And yeah, I'm definitely excited to hear more. So let's go right to Umbrella with 21 Savage and Young Nudie. Those keys are crazy. I mean, I don't know if there's anybody that's done more for 21 Savage as an artist than Metro Boomin. Like, I just feel like him working with him has fully like elevated who he was as an artist and brought him to a level that like I never expected him to reach. But now he's definitely one of the top dogs in the game, and I think Metro Boomin has a lot to do with that. Hey, yo. Depending on where you from, man. I don't even play that game like that, but depending on where you from, Clutch and Glizzy with the fellas, cause it's a wild line, my guy. A wild line. But like I said, you know, Metro, 21 Savage definitely bring out the best of each other. And while that does sound familiar and comfortable and like a lot of other production that he's had with 21, it works. It works. Let's go to Trance with Travis Scott and Young Thug. Almost sound like some house music, some house kind of like Afro beat, Afro dance, Arabian mix like going on. Like there's a lot going on right now. I mean, shout out to Young Thug. You know, if you don't know all the legal shit that he's kind of going through, well, I guess let me hold that shout out depending on, you know, the veracity of what's coming out of this case. There's a lot going on, and we might not be hearing a lot of Young Thug in the future, which would be tragic musically because he does so much like interesting shit and has inspired like so many people and works with so many people and connects so many people. It's kind of crazy that we might not be hearing from him on this stage for a long time. Fire. I mean, I knew it was coming fire. I mean, Travis Scott and Young Thug to get together, it's normally always top tier. So yeah, let's go to Around Me featuring Don Toliver. I've talked about him kind of previously in some of our other reactions. He's an artist that you don't like. He doesn't have like a ton of his own solo stuff that I hear, or doesn't put out projects and doesn't really put out singles, but he does pop up every now and then. A lot of people's songs has featured guests, and he always delivers in that sense. So I'm kind of interested to hear that he has his own solo track on a Metro Boomin album, what that is gonna sound like. So let's check it out. Around Me. Okay. Man, I was not expecting that. Like I said, on producer albums, producers get a chance to kind of like really stretch their legs musically, experimental wise. They get to try new sounds, try new directions. And this one is, I don't even know what to put my kind of synth pop, electronic pop almost. Yeah, sounds crazy so far. Let's keep going. You know, for kind of like one of his first attempts, at least to my knowledge, of him kind of dipping into that more poppy electronic pop dance kind of wave, I think he did a fairly decent job. I think he kind of held back. I think he could have went way farther with the production. I think he could have tried more stuff, but it's a generally overall enjoyable sound, enjoyable song. Now with Drake doing it kind of earlier in the year with this full-on project, honestly, never mind. And now Boomin kind of hopped into that lane. Maybe we'll see, you know, the hip-hop culture, the black community kind of, and as a whole, kind of embrace that genre and other genres, because I think it's dope when we're not like a monolith and trying and experimenting and seeing what we can do in new avenues and kind of enjoying different sounds. So I love to see it. I love to hear the experimentation. So dope. Let's go to Creepin with The Weeknd and 21 Savage. It's definitely was that what's his name? Is that Mario? Yeah, Mario Winans I Don't Want to Know sample right there, kind of interpolation of it, and dope choice, because I think that's one of the most slept on songs of the early 2000s. Might not get remembered, you know, as much these days, but man, that song was a smash for Bad Boy and for him. And honestly, that's probably one of his only numbers that I really remember, but that was a hit. So it's just a straight up remix, not even an interpolation. Like when I said remix, I mean like straight up remix. Like this is almost change a little thing here, change a little there. Oh yeah, that's good to go. Like this is very close to the original. I'm not mad at it. I wouldn't even say remix. It's almost like just a straight up cover of Mario Winans I Don't Want to Know. I hope he's getting a nice little royalty check off this. If Diddy's letting him get anything off of that song still. Which, you know, I had to say, which is also kind of crazy because this is the remix / cover of I Don't Want to Know, Mario Winans, which also was based on a sample from Fuji's Ready or Not, which itself was a sample of an instrumental track by Enya. So I don't know about the rights. I don't know about the distribution on the cuts, on the royalties on this song. I wouldn't even want to get involved in all that. But just know this runs deep, and a lot of people's hands should be getting greased on this one alone. I mean,
derivative.
Sad to say. I mean, it's cool as a cover. It's a cool little cover, cool little remix, cool little kind of flip of it. But at the same time, like a lot of these songs that a lot of these modern artists are doing, which are basically just covers of older pop songs, pop hits. It just makes you want to go back and listen to the original. This just makes you want to go back and listen to Mario Winans I Don't Want to Know. It's cool for what it is. The Weeknd's dope. 21 does this thing, but still nothing like the original. So in that sense, it's all right. Let's go to Walk 'Em Down with 21 Savage. It says Walk 'Em Down, parentheses, don't kill civilians. So kind of oxymoron type of messaging. Go kill people, but don't kill civilians. Walk them down, which means you're basically doing it in public and you're just shooting, but whatever. Like, you know, it's kind of like the same kind of ironic, comical sense in which, you know, 21 Savage is like please let's stop the shooting in Atlanta, while all the songs are about basically shooting in Atlanta. But let's go to a walk 'em down. Oh, it's almost like a PSA, like a message to the kids. Don't do drive-bys, kids. Just walk them down. Don't spray indiscriminately. Don't just kill randomly. If you're gonna kill, go out and kill, but walk them down instead. Don't do drive-bys. Basically be a stone cold killer, because to walk somebody down is a much more personal and cold-hearted thing to do. But I know what he's trying to do, but Jesus, this is not the best PSA, I would say, for the public and the youth. Who's this? This is Mustafa. Haven't heard of him. Again, not a huge fan of the songwriting and lyrics on this one, but I can kind of see what they're trying to do, but it ain't working for me. Nah, walk them down, don't civilians, kill civilians. Not working for me. Let's go to Lock On Me with Travis Scott and Future. Serviceable. Not my favorite song of Future or Travis Scott's. Yeah, it's serviceable. Definitely a song that I could do without. I think it could have been left off the album. Wouldn't miss too much, but it's decent for what it is. Let's go to the last track that I want to listen to, called Feel the Fire, with A$AP Rocky featuring Takeoff. Now I know this album was originally supposed to go about around October, so I'm not really sure. Can't remember the timeline of when Takeoff passed away, so I'm not sure like if this was a late addition to the album and all, kind of to pay homage, but I'm interested to see. Obviously it's A$AP Rocky. It's kind of one of the only artists that have come outside of like his working circle on this album. So last track, Feel the Fire, A$AP Rocky, and featuring Takeoff, R.I.P. Super soulful, which I love. I do love a good soulful beat, and I think it's even doper because A$AP Rocky's on there, and even though he doesn't necessarily follow the line of like Harlem, New York artists that came before him, a lot of artists that came from Harlem in the early 2000s before he got into the rap game, they loved a good soulful sample, sped up soulful sample, but it was a mainstay in a lot of production. So I think that's dope. And I think I would really like more of that to come back, but I also understand why it's not due to sampling rights. You can't tell me those gospel samples with a hard like bass and hard drum beats behind it. They just hit differently. Damn, hip hop really took a loss, man. They really took a loss with Takeoff, man. It just felt like he was about to blow up. It felt like he was really about to take his turn on the pedestal in the spotlight. Out of all the Migos specifically, man, it really felt like he was the one who was about to be on, his biggest kind of arc in music to date. And man, it's just fucked up situation. Hip hop really took a loss. I mean, super underrated lyricist. I'm sure a lot of you caught that, but he definitely was rapping most of the alphabet pretty much from A to Z. And doing it in his style, in his way, and it's gonna be missed. It's definitely gonna be missed. That's it. That's it for Metro Boomin, Heroes and Villains. My overall thoughts is I think this is a much better project than his first his first studio album that he put together some years ago. The production is great. I mean, I don't think he really experimented as much as I was kind of hoping to hear, either with his guests or his production, because with his guests, I mean, I get it. These are his tried and true friends, the people that he's kind of come up with, who have helped him get to the level that he's at, and who he has helped get to the level that he's at. So he's definitely kept it kind of more in-house and family per se. But it would have been dope to kind of see him bring in other artists that he doesn't necessarily work with, or kind of have some more like kind of unexpected features that you wouldn't, think to see him get. And it would have been nice to see him kind of touch on other genres a little bit more than what we've heard so far, considering this is also a production album, because I really wanted to see what he could do with this production kind of at the forefront. But overall, it is a dope album. Production is dope. I myself, a lot of people have, but I myself have questioned kind of how much juice he has, how much he has left in the bag as a producer, because after a crazy run that you go on like he did, how much more do you have? How much more creative do you have? But if anything, this album shows that he's still there. He's still got a lot left to offer. His drums hit as hard as ever. I think he's got some of the best drum kits in the game, and yeah, it shows like his strong connection with 21 Savage and Future and Travis Scott, and I think that's collaborations that will continue to pay off for years to come. So it's smart for him to kind of keep diving back into that bag. It's a dope album, if not a safe one, but it is one that I would definitely be interested in going back to and hearing all the way through. And there are a lot of little slappers on here. So yeah, Metro Boomin, Heroes of Villains, dope album. If you guys have heard it, let me know what you guys kind of think about it in the comments down below. Where does it stack up to some of his best collaborations, best projects, best production, best anything from Metro Boomin himself? Let me know what you think in the comments down below. What are some of your favorite songs off the project? I would have to say Fiyaaaah. Right now really stuck out to me. Superhero, Heroes and Villains really stuck out to me. Trance, Umbrella, and I'm sure there's a few others, but those right now definitely really jumped out at me, and I'm looking forward to going back and hearing the whole thing.